Welcome to the Sales Influence Podcast, where we talk about finding the why in how people buy. I'm your host, Victor Antonio, and today we're going to talk about quantifying value. More specifically, we're going to talk about the Value Trinity. Now, for those of you who've been listening to my podcast religiously, you know that the Value Trinity are three things that we can help a client with. And that is, how can we increase their revenue? How can our product or service help them reduce costs? And how can our product or service help them expand their market share? And if we can show them how to do one of these three or two or all three, then we can quantify that value, we can now sell from that position. As opposed to qualifying a value, talking about features and benefits, if we can quantify the amount of money that we will save them, the amount of money we can help them make, the fact that we can help them increase market share, all this stuff is what the customers want to hear. Now, I want to look at one of the three, and that is reducing costs. I think reducing costs is the easiest of all three: increase revenue, reduce costs, or expand market share. Reducing costs is the easiest one to quantify, because if we can quantify that value, how we can help them reduce costs with our product or service, we're more likely to close the deal. So the question is, what's the process for helping them quantify the real value? All right, I'm going to walk you through a 4-step process. If you follow these 4 steps, you'll be able to sell more successfully. Now, visualize, if you will, because I think it's always important to have a context, a scenario in your head. Let's say that you contacted a client. This is a B2B sales process. You've contacted the client. You now know that you're in the room with 5 to 10 of the top decision makers in that room. Now, they don't want to hear about features and benefits. They want to hear about how you can help them increase revenue, reduce costs, or expand market share. But if you just say you can do it, that's one thing. But if you can prove it, quantify it, that's another level of selling. So step number 1 is to first understand their process. So let's say you're a printing company. And you're a printing company, and let's say you have some type of, toner that you now have that can actually improve their process. But first you map their process. And let's say that you look at their process and you realize it takes 7 steps for them to produce a report or a catalog, and that's it. You've mapped out the whole process, right? Because you've mapped out the process, you now understand what they're trying to accomplish. Step number 2, locate the areas within that process. So again, let's pretend it's a 7-step process for them to print a catalog. Locate in that process where your product or service can help them reduce cost. Now, here are 5 things to ask yourself. These are very important. So if you're driving and you're listening to this, when you get back to the office or back home, write these down. So if you're writing right now, you're at home, get the paper and the pen out. This is important. Here are the 5 things I want you to ask yourself after you've mapped out the customer process. I want you to ask yourself, locate areas where you can improve, reduce costs by asking yourself 5 questions. Where can I, 1, simplify the process for the customer? Can I help them simplify it? In other words, make it simpler, which also will make it faster. Can I do that? Second, can I eliminate a step in the process using my product or service? First, simplify, make it easier so the process moves faster. Can I do that? Maybe. Can I eliminate, take out something? Instead of 7 steps, maybe they only need 6 steps, and our product will allow them to do that. Or can I enhance the process? In other words, can I do something within that process, that 7-step process, to make things go faster with my product or service? Or number 4, is there something I can replace in that process? In other words, take out a step and put something in new to actually reduce the cost. Number 5, can I combine with my product or service, can I combine 1 or 2 of those steps? And instead of a 7-step process, we can now make it 6 or maybe even 5. If I shorten the process, I'm obviously going to reduce the cost. So the 5 things, again, let me repeat them because I want you to get these. Locate the areas where you can help them reduce costs by asking yourself 5 simple questions. Where can I simplify the process? Where can I eliminate something in the process with my product or service? Is there a part of the process that I can enhance the speed so I can move faster? Can I replace something in the process, or can I combine things to make the process more efficient? Now, step number 1, we map out the process. Step number 2, we locate areas where we can help them reduce costs. We can simplify, eliminate, enhance, or replace, or combine, or we can do all the above. Now that we know where we can simplify, eliminate, enhance, replace, or combine, now we have to actually document that. In other words, rerun the numbers. Let's say that you were able to combine the process from 7 steps to, let's say, 5 steps. So that means you knocked out 2 steps. You went from 7 to 5. Now calculate, and with the customer's help using their numbers, calculate how much of a savings that will be. Your product costs X, but you're saving them Y, and you're saving them Y over X amount of years. So again, quantify what you're actually saving them. Now, step number 4, be ready to present that information. Now again, if you want to be a modern salesperson, let me say that again. If you want to be a modern salesperson and not a Neanderthal salesperson, a Neanderthal salesperson is ugh, always be closing, close, close, close. That's Neanderthal, right? That's so old school. Yeah, you'll close a couple of deals here and there, but you'll always be a Neanderthal. A modern salesperson, especially in a B2B sales scenario, you can't beat a customer down into buying something. Those fast willy, slick willy type of sales close, what if I can show you this? Would you be willing to? Those type of closing, they don't work at the B2B level. So what we have to do is be quantifiers of value. We have to quantify, show the customer where we can actually save them money. And our goal is to show them where we can save them money and have them go, never thought about it, never looked at it that way. No one's ever showed me this. When we show them what our product costs, let's show them the total cost of ownership, right? Here's what it's going to cost you to own our product over time. You're going to have to train people. You're going to have to replace this. You're going to do this. But here's your break-even point. Here's how fast you'll make your money back. Also, on top of that, your return on investment after the first break-even point is going to be, boom, this much money. In other words, show them that even though your product costs more, how you're going to help them reduce costs over the long run. Show them where the break-even point is. Maybe it's out, let's say, a year and a half, 2 years. And then after that, show them what the return on investment is going to be over the next 3 to 5 years or the life of that product or service or process. So if you can do these 4 things, you will be a modern-day salesperson. So let's go through the steps again. Step number 1, map their process. Understand their process as it applies to your product or service. So again, map out the process. Step number 2, locate areas where you can improve on that process to help them reduce costs. Look for things to simplify, eliminate, enhance, replace, or combine. Then step number 3, quantify that value. Get the numbers down, write them out. Make sure they're real numbers. Okay, so if you're reducing their process from 7 steps to 5, use their numbers to calculate how much money, how much savings they'll experience by using your product. Last but not least, when you present this, again, if you've done your job correctly, you as a modern salesperson will be able to show the value, the total cost of ownership, the break-even points, the return on investment, and the customer is more likely to buy because they know you understand their process, you're helping them reduce costs, and you're doing it in such a way that they can justify the expense of buying your product or service. And that is how you sell in today's market, especially in the B2B market. Well, that's it for this Sales Influence podcast. Again, don't forget to leave me some feedback on iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube. Let me know what you think, guys. I really would appreciate it. Also, you know the deal. Check out my sales training seminars on selling website where you'll find great sales training videos. Again, either you enhance or upgrade your learning or you downgrade your expectations. It's up to you. If you're not selling enough, you're not hitting your number, guess what? You need training, and I got the material for you. Lastly, I want to thank you for listening. This is Victor Antonio, always reminding you, selling ain't hard when you know how. Take care. Hi, I'm Victor Antonio. I'm an author, sales trainer, and keynote speaker. I'm often asked, what makes a great speaker? Is it someone who delivers real content that the audience can use? Is it someone who engages the audience so they're part of the learning experience? Or is it someone who can motivate an audience to push them beyond their comfort zone and discover new abilities? The answer is yes. But the most important thing to remember is that I'm not there to look good. I'm there to make my client look good. Simply put, it's never about me, and it's always about them.